Now it's my pleasure to introduce Chancellor Linda Katehi. Chancellor Katehi became the 6th Chancellor of UC Davis on August 17, 2009. As the university's Chief Executive Officer, she oversees all aspects of the university's teaching, research, and public service mission. She also holds UC Davis's faculty appointments in electrical and computer engineering and in women and gender studies. Chancellor Katehi earned her bachelor's degree in electrical engineering from the National Technical University of Athens, and then went on to receive her master's and doctoral degrees in electrical engineering from UCLA. Before coming to UC Davis, she served in various academic and administrative positions at 3 Big Ten universities: University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign, Purdue University, and the University of Michigan. Today, she's a nationally renowned educator, mentor, administrator, and electrical engineer. Chancellor Katehi's work on electronic circuit design for wireless communications has earned her 19 US patents and an additional 4 pending patent applications. Among her many distinctions, she has served as chair for both the President's Committee for the National Medal of Science and the Secretary of Commerce's Committee for the National Medal of Technology and Innovation. A member of the National Academy of Engineering and the American Academy for Arts and Sciences, she's also a highly regarded advocate and spokesman for the Science, Technology, Engineering and Mathematics, or STEM Education Coalition, and for her leadership on National Academy of Engineering and National Research Council report on integrating engineering into K-12 education. In addition to these many accomplishments, Chancellor Katehi has also worked from her earliest days as a faculty member to expand research opportunities for undergraduates and to improve the educational and professional experience of graduate students, with an emphasis on underrepresented groups. Please join me in welcoming our esteemed Chancellor, Linda Katehi.
Thank you, Isabel, for the very nice and a little long introduction. And thank you all this morning for being here with us today. But I would like to take a moment before I start with my comments and thank Mark and Paul for their wonderful stories and for being here to share those stories with us. They're very important to us personally, obviously, but to our students as well. And I would like to say that it is those stories we would like to have our students repeat in many ways and in many numbers. And that's when we are going to say that we have been successful as a university. But as I say, I want to thank everybody for being here today. The stories of Mark and Paul really show the kind of energy and entrepreneurial leadership that UC Davis provides for our state and region. As everyone here is all too aware, the recession and ongoing budget cuts have placed tremendous stresses on higher education. In the past 4 years, our state budget has been reduced by more than 40%. In the past year alone, the gap we've had in our funding between state cuts and the fixed cost increases, such as healthcare obligations and employee pension contributions, was more than $130 million just for our campus. Since I joined this campus as the chancellor, at UC Davis and throughout the UC system, we've had to make some very difficult decisions and choices. We had to reduce support to many programs, as you know, and totally eliminate others. We had to furlough many employees, you remember that in 2009, lay off many others since then, and displace even more people who had to change their job classification and job specifics. We took a comprehensive review of every dollar we spend, and we have been taking a number of steps to substantially reduce our administrative cost. Yet, despite all of these measures and efforts, the budget cut was so big that we had no choice but to substantially raise tuition for our students and their hardworking families. Since 2008, all of our energy has really gone into dealing with the budget cuts and the emotions stemming from these tough decisions. For the past 2 years, the University of California, as you know, has suffered from cuts, from loss of morale, and for an atmosphere of instability. In my 2 years as the Chancellor at UC Davis, I have seen our state budget contribution plummet to below 10% of our total revenues. So after all of this, I'm here today in front of you to say that I believe enough is enough. And we cannot allow ourselves to continue with these permanent reductions in state support and allow those reductions by themselves to define a new status quo for UC Davis, where our ability to excel is constrained by limited resources. Dealing with state cuts cannot become a long-term strategy for our campus, and that's what I'm fearing as the Chancellor. I have now become convinced that we need to change our course. While we deal, and we will deal very carefully with the challenges of the day, we need to focus on our future and the opportunities this future brings to us. Our future strategies will not be shaken by the vagaries of the state budget. Neither we will become a victim to or an instrument of political agendas and related rhetoric. Moving forward, we are determined to focus on the opportunities provided by the sources that make up the remaining 90% of our budget. We will extend the conditions that allow us to achieve excellence, and we will develop a plan to further advance our mission as a land-grant university, our mission of providing access to an excellent education. So here we are today to talk about defining our future, to talk about our path to academic excellence and economic opportunity. Academic excellence and economic opportunity have always been cornerstones of our vision at UC Davis. This is why we are ranked among the top 10 public research universities in the nation for a second year in a row. This is why we are among the top 10 universities in research funding, with $700 million in research grants in this past academic year. And this is why we consistently have graduates like Mark Otero and faculty like Paul Henderson contributing so much toward making our region, state, and the world a better place. It is this level of achievement that everyone in this hall is working hard to enhance. We want to take this foundation and build on it, so we can offer the benefits of a UC education to an even greater number of deserving students. We will take control of our destiny by developing new strategies and adapting new budget models that will move our campus forward in the coming years. We will search for new opportunities and work hard to bring them to fruition while staying true to our mission. And this is what I would like to talk about in some detail here today. This university stands out among the 10 campuses in the UC system because we have the largest physical footprint, more in line with bigger undergraduate and graduate schools. With more than 6,000 acres and 17 million square feet of maintainable space, we have already made major investments in infrastructure. So we should utilize and exploit this investment to the maximum. If we increase the population of highly qualified resident and non-resident students in a thoughtful and deliberative way, and reduce our administrative costs in parallel, we will be able to generate new funds in support of our academic enterprise. Our preliminary analyses tell us that by adding 5,000 more undergraduate students in about 5 years or so, with an appropriate and responsible mix of in-state and out-of-state, we can accomplish a number of important goals. For example, we can make our campus more diverse and more international, creating a more vibrant educational setting to prepare our future global leaders. We can become financially stable. That way, every time state revenues drop and our budget gets cut, we will not have to reduce programs, furlough faculty, or lay off staff and substantially raise tuition. We will be in control of our own destiny. This growth will provide sufficient new revenue by 2020 to hire an additional 300 tenure-track faculty, giving us even more of the intellectual capital we need to fulfill our vision as one of the top universities in the US. We can grow our graduate programs as well and our graduate student cohort substantially and allow for additional research opportunities. In parallel, we will be able to improve existing infrastructure and make investments needed to sustain and grow excellence across our campus. And most importantly, for our state and region, with this influx of intellectual capital, we can spark economic opportunity and create jobs in our own communities. We call this idea the 2020 Initiative, signifying the fact that by 2020, our campus will be able to complete this growth effort, accomplish its goals of excellence, and achieve its objectives of becoming even more widely recognized as one of the top public universities in the US and around the world. Now, to do all of these things, of course, we need your help. Our initiative for the future, this initiative I'm talking about, is just being developed in broad strokes. Nothing is set in stone, and nothing will be decreed from on high. We will create a process whereby we can determine exactly where and how this growth should occur. We want to hear your thoughts and ideas as we develop the details of this initiative. We want to see whether there is and where there is passion, energy, interest, and sound reasons to grow on our campus, talking about the academic programs, of course. We want to hear what you, the staff, faculty, and students at UC Davis want to see happen, and we would like you to get involved in the process of defining that. We want to know what you, alumni, friends, and supporters, and members of our neighboring communities of Davis and Sacramento want to see happen, and we want you to get involved in the process. And we must always remember, as we move through this process, that our focus is on excellence, innovation, and economic development. We must never grow simply for growth's sake. The goal is to continue creating a university that can sustain its rising trajectory through its own best efforts, leveraging support from the state, of course, but rising above the fiscal limitations we now face. Connecting academic excellence and innovation to economic development requires careful planning and appropriate investments. And to transfer the innovation that takes place on our campus to opportunities in the community and the region that bring prosperity requires intervention. Our plan is to provide this intervention by creating what we call the innovation hubs. These innovation hubs will be intellectual communities that will enable a better transfer of campus research from the lab to the marketplace. Last spring, we went out, for those of you who were involved, you may remember that. We went out to the region and asked for ideas surrounding creation of these hubs to enhance partnership opportunities between campus researchers and the private sector. Many of the responses we received noted that our campus has not been as nimble as it should have been when it comes to technology transfer. In response to these comments, and under the leadership of our new Vice Chancellor for Research, Harris Lewin, the campus is reviewing the tech transfer infrastructure and process with an eye toward improving our ability to partner with the private sector and play a bigger role in the economic development of our region and state. In addition, it was suggested that bringing together related but organizationally separated campus research centers could help entrepreneurs more easily connect to the campus research enterprise. In response to that suggestion, we are locating several energy-related research centers within our new West Village project to create what we call a university hub as a prototype for future innovation hubs. We believe this U-Hub will facilitate enhanced interactions with the private sector in the area of energy research within the first ZeroNet energy community in the region. We appreciate very much the interest that our supporters took to provide their responses and their thoughts to our request. As our 2020 initiative unfolds, we will continue looking for additional partnership opportunities with our neighbors and friends to enhance our economic development role in the region. But make no mistake, our campus is already a strong engine of economic activity, as last week's report from the UC Office of the President points out. According to that report, here at UC Davis, in fiscal year 2009-2010, we were responsible for about 56,000 jobs and about $5.5 billion in economic activity. But at the same time, I know and I believe, we all believe, that we can do better than this when it comes to creating more jobs and more economic activity in the region, which is what the innovation hubs are all about. The goal is to have more success stories like Professor Raju Pandey of the College of Engineering. Raju could not be with us here today. He is in India, as a matter of fact, for family reasons. But I wanted to speak about his achievements as a faculty here at UC Davis. With some of his students, Raju invented wireless sensors in our labs that monitor and control energy use in data centers all over the country. The high-tech company he helped found, Synapsense, which did not exist 5 years ago, has now 55 employees and growing, and has attracted $41 million in venture capital. And they have partnerships with Hewlett-Packard, Bosch, General Electric, and others. Now, the strength of UC Davis has other regional economic benefits as well. Just this past June, the Japanese toolmaker Moriseiki broke ground on a new manufacturing plant here in Davis that will employ up to 150 people. A big reason the company decided to expand here was because of UC Davis researchers and the world-class graduates we produce. The company has supported research done in our engineering labs for the last 16 years, and now they can directly hire UC Davis graduates and create new jobs for the region. We believe we can do more of that and play a leading role in bringing sorely needed economic development and jobs to Northern California and our state and nation. As a land-grant university, improving the quality of life in our region and state is a core part of our mission, and it is something we all take very seriously. More success in this arena will also help the university maintain and expand its core research activities, even in this era of uncertain federal funding. I'm very excited about working with all of you and the rest of the UC Davis community to accomplish these goals and make sure that our future is always a bright one. At UC Davis, I know we have the passion, we have the creativity, we have the ingenuity to respond to the state budget crisis and make us even greater and stronger than before. If we work together and keep our eyes focused on the ultimate goal, we will succeed, and UC Davis will soar even better.